Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about how to increase the length of time you or your loved one can afford assisted living. My name is Chris Chan. I'm the owner of Chelsea Place Senior Care and your host of Senior Source TV, and I'm so thankful that you joined me today. I'm going to kind of paint this scenario. This is going to be very different for every person, but it's going to help you understand and maybe give you some ideas as some alternative ways to pay for assisted living. So in this case, Bob, we have a lady who is caring for her father, Bob, and they're trying to figure out, or the family even, they're trying to figure out what is the best thing to do for our dad. Should we sell his house? Should we keep the home? Should we sell it? What do we do? What's the best scenario? And so we're going to kind of walk through this a little bit. So long story short, Bob currently owns a home that's worth around $200,000. His income is $1,500 a month, and he has about $50,000 in savings. And so we have two different options here. And basically what I've done is, and then they're looking at an assisted living facility that costs around $4,000 a month, but I put $150 a month in there for personal expenses, things like that, of that nature. So let's kind of look through this whole scenario. So option one, basically in option one, what we're doing is we're selling the home, combining the assets, the savings, the house, and using those assets to help pay for care. So then in scenario option one here, we're taking the $4,150 per month. We're basically subtracting the income out of that, and we're getting $2,650 a month. The $2,650 a month is the remaining balance after we take out Bob's income. With that, if you were to take a look at, okay, Bob now has $250,000 sitting in the bank, divided by $2,650, and then that's going to give you the number of periods that you can afford that. And if you divide that by 12 months, what you end up getting is around 7 years of longevity with this financial model. So if you were to sell the home, combine the assets, use the income, so whatever the assisted living cost is minus the income, you take that amount, you would actually have about 7 years before Bob ran out of funds to pay for his care. And so that's one option, and we see that happen quite a bit. In fact, I probably see that happen, more than I see this other option. However, I think it's important that you explore it. If you're someone who's more financially literate, then maybe option two is another alternative for you, and maybe it just is helping you see that there is other options available. So say here in option two, instead of selling the home right away, what the family has decided to do is they're like, you know what, we're going to rent the home out. We're going to rent the home out, and we'll use the rental income as well as Bob's actual retirement income, and we'll combine those incomes to help pay for assisted living care. So in this case, they rent the home out for $2,000 a month. They take out taxes and maintenance and some property management fees, and maybe they're around $1,250 a month. So now you have rental income, or net rental income of around $1,250 a month. You have Bob's regular income of $1,500 a month. So now there's a total income of about $2,750 per month. And then when you subtract the assisted living costs of $4,150 minus the $2,750, you're looking at about a net amount due of $1,400 every month. So with that $1,400, you can actually use Bob's savings every month to help pay for those costs. So now Bob has $1,400 a month that he can use. Again, this is for just pure generalization purposes, not to say that this is the exact way to do it, but just to give you an idea. In a case like this, it'll last Bob around maybe 3 years, where if we were to rent the home out and use that income. So now we're tapping into savings for about 3 years. So if anything, what this might be able to do is, maybe this is not the full solution. Maybe you're not like, hey, we're going to run this thing out 3 years. Maybe what we're going to do is we're going to buy time. Before we decide to sell this big asset, before we decide as a family to sell Bob's house, let's just clean it up, rent it out, and then give us some time to digest and figure out what we want to do. So that's another alternative. But what's cool about that is by going that route, you're maximizing the amount of time that your dad or that your loved one could afford to live in assisted living. Because you see in this scenario here, if we were to go through that, by the time that Bob runs out of cash funds and now we got to liquidate the home, and we liquidate the home, and we're kind of back to the same scenario. So we can get, basically we can, get 3 years and then another almost 6 years out of it. So really, if you were to just say compare conservatively, option 2 gets someone around 9 years of care in assisted living. Option 1 gets someone around 7 years of care in assisted living. That is in the same scenario as Bob is in. So again, this could change. This could be a completely different scenario. The math could completely work out totally different depending on your situation. I mean, someone might have way more savings. Their house might not be worth that much. I don't know. Every scenario is going to be a little bit different, but this is just to open your mind. So option 1, sell the home, combine the assets, use the income and savings to pay for care. Option 2, rent the home, spend down the savings while you're renting the home. When you no longer have savings, or before you reduce that person's savings, then sell the home, and that is going to get you a little bit longer time to pay for care services. So in fact, it might buy just time before you decide to sell the house. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully this can give you some ideas when you're trying to figure out, how do I pay for mom and dad's care? How do I pay for my loved one's care? What's the best way to do this? There's a ton of different options out there. But as far as there's reverse mortgages, there's long-term care insurance. People could qualify for VA benefits. But if someone didn't have all those things, this is another way that they could do that as well. So again, if you have any questions, if you haven't already, download our 5-step guide to senior care. It's on our website, and it'll be on a link below. Download our 5-step guide to senior care. I'd love to help walk you through our 5 steps, help you put together a plan, recognizing when mom and dad might need help, organizing legal affairs, making a financial plan, choosing the right care, and how do you choose the right providers. We're here for you. My name's Chris, and I love to help. Feel free to give us a call, 941-677-7233. Be happy to help you in any way that we can. Have a fantastic day, and thank you so much for your support.